What's up, golf friends? This is Jim Colton, and this is the Driven Golf Podcast, coming live to you from the golf room.
This is Jim
How's it
Colton.
going, Joseph?
Hey Jim, it's going well. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. We're live streaming, so a little bit of an echo there for a second. But yeah, it's great. It's great seeing you, man. This is it's been a busy couple of weeks. We're smack dab in the start of the big junior and amateur season. The summer season for a lot of these players. So we had some big tournaments just wrap up this week. And so I just wanted to bring you on and just talk about, this is episode 45, talk a little bit about this episode, but then just all the comings and goings of junior and amateur golf. So I think we got to start with the Sunny Hannah Amateur.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah. Youngest winner, I think, in the tournament's history. I think the tournament scoring record, someone that we know pretty well. You've seen quite a bit of, the last couple of years. Tyler Watts, fellow lefty, looks pretty good in green. Make your futures bets for Masters champions, sometime down the road in the next 10 or 12 years. What's your take on Tyler? What's your observation about him?
And when he gets hot, look out. I mean, he was making birdies in bunches. To be 19 under this 4-day tournament was incredible. I mean, being the champion and wearing that green jacket, it's got to get him excited. And I don't think it'll be his last green jacket he ever wears. So hopefully the next one he's wearing pants, though. It's the blazer and shorts is a different look there.
Yeah. So I do think my take on Tyler, you correct me if I'm wrong, is there anybody who's less afraid to go low than Tyler Watts that you've seen?
No, he is deadly when he starts getting that putter rolling.
Yeah. So anyways, I think it's been a while, but he won the Alabama State Amateur a couple years ago. I think he shot a 62, was the youngest winner of that tournament scoring record. So it's a little bit of his MO. And I think him winning at the start of the summer could be big things for him, especially leading into the U.S. Junior here at the end of July. So probably one of the most hotly contested and highly anticipated U.S. Juniors we've had in quite a while. So pretty excited to see it.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. And speaking of summer golf, I know you're on site for a 100-hole hike, something that's near and dear to your heart. So let's hear about the lowdown on what was going on there.
Yeah, so you recall we had Will Smith from the National Links Trust early days, episode 4 of the Driven Golf Podcast. We were just young pups. He didn't even get a rap song. And, I got to go back in the back catalog and take care of Will. But, they've been doing this the hike for years. I've known Will for a long time. Him and Mike McCartan, the co-founders of the National Links Trust, really doing great work, like taking over the municipal golf courses in the District of Columbia. And they've been doing the hike is really one of their main fundraising efforts for 4 or 5 years now. And so they were having it. And, I've recently retired, so I have a little bit more time in my hand. I also have a son who goes to George Washington University, so it was a good excuse to get out and see him. And I was like, yeah, I'll come out. I'll help out. I'll just come out and caddy, whoever needs a caddy. So I saw Will and Mike off. They teed off just a few minutes after 5 a.m. But they had caddies already lined up. So the second group came on the tee, and I was like, hey, do you guys need a caddy? And guys like, I'll take a caddy. So CJ, his sister actually won the Epson tournament, her first professional win, like the day before. CJ Wagner, her name's Sam Wagner. So that was kind of cool, just like. And he was like a +2 handicap. I think he shot like 25 under par for 100 holes. And so it was kind of cool just hanging out with him and getting some of his perspective. And, he was very familiar with like the mid-am circuit, the AJGA circuit and the amateur circuit. So we spent, a good 4 or 5 hours together. So that was a nice time, him and his partner, Kirk. So I would say like, it really got my blood pumping. Like I tweeted the following day, I've been a few years removed from actively running the hike now, probably 7-8 years removed from it now. And it just made me realize that maybe there's like a whole new generation of 100-hole hikers out there like my days of hiking and walking 100, playing 100 more holes in a day is long gone. My ankles feel like they're in cement 24/7. But I'm more than happy to caddy, and I'm more than happy to like, help get these things up and running for the next generation. And and I think like for these two guys I was spending most of the day with, like it was their first time, and they were using it as an opportunity because they just loved the game, they loved each other's company, and they were just using it as a platform to do some good for these courses and this cause that they feel really strongly about. And I know there's hundreds, if not thousands, of golfers out there that are in the same boat. And anyways, and I know that the technology is probably a lot better to be able to collect pledges and get the word out through social media and collect get the funds to the in the right hands, all that sort of stuff. So we're building out the stat site. It's not our highest priority, but like once we get that up and running, like probably our next project will be build out the platform for people to do 100-hole hikes. Maybe it's hike.driven.golf or something like that. So I would say optimistically 2026 100-hole hikes, like let's make it happen. And I'm happy to caddy. If you want to do one, I'll caddy for you. um, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, put me down. I'm definitely in. I got to get in on that.
Yeah, but I do kind of like this idea of like some of the OGs like myself kind of passing the torch, but like caddying, helping out, caddying a few rounds, giving some tips, and like, you know, there's what you should do, that sort of thing. And then this new wave of generation kind of taking the torch and running with it and making it maybe even better than it ever was before. And just seeing how many people we can reach through this game, I think it just gives them a good excuse to give back to the game. So try to I'm excited about the possibility of maybe building that out for next summer. So if folks are listening to this, like, hey, I want to get involved, like, please reach out to us. And if we know that there's interest there, like, that'll give us some motivation to keep plugging away.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Jim, speaking of summer golf, it is June 14th, which means tomorrow is June 15th as we record this episode. And this is a big day for juniors. And I'm looking at the 2027 class right now. I've got it pulled up, and I'm seeing some huge names on this list. So, what can we expect tonight? And if you're like me, you might stay up and check Twitter all night long and all in the early hours of tomorrow. So, what can we expect?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to expect, honestly. I mean, I think everyone was talking about the 2026 class. And in a lot of ways, the 2027 class, at least there's two names at the top that are probably going to generate more buzz than anybody in the 2026 class, which is really saying a lot, I think. And some of that may get sorted out early. Like some of that, like we maybe have some inklings on where it might be headed and the timing of it and all that sort of stuff. So it'll be interesting to see if our speculation is correct. But yeah, I think the rest of the class and how that shakes out will be really interesting. I think the one thing that was particularly interesting to me is the 2027 class is like very heavy in Florida. Like I think 7 of the top 11 kids are in Florida. So it could be, a big year for the Florida schools in terms of their recruiting efforts if you think that they have a leg up on the competition. And I don't think that's always been the case in previous years. So I don't know what that is, if it's a function of those kids kind of growing up in the scene together and competing against each other. Like we've seen that the power of that and what that can do for a particular class if you get these guys coming up, all with some skill up at the same time. And this could be a special group all coming from Florida.
You teased it a little bit. I'm assuming you're talking about Miles Russell and Charlie Woods, two of the big names.
I mean, yeah, I think so. I think so.
All right, good.
Yeah. And I actually I don't know who probably I don't know who's one. It's probably 1 and 1A in terms of interest level from that perspective. Yeah. Maybe they go to the same school.
Yeah, you never know. Could be a powerhouse school.
Yeah. So anyways, a lot going on. I honestly think like the junior golf scene. Like I think with Tyler winning, I was ready to call this like this is going to be the summer of junior golfers. So I'm really interested to see how the juniors. I think the trend started last year, and then into the off season, where amateurs are or our juniors are going out and competing and even winning these high level amateur events, and it's sort of carried forward. And these kids are just so good. I mean, it's just crazy. If you're outside the scene a little bit, it's hard to explain to somebody like just how good these kids are. But then they go out and they beat 25 of the top 100 amateurs in the world. Um, most guys are older than him. So yeah, I'm interested to see Northeast Am, North and South, the Elite Am series. There's some chance that it could be sort of dominated by one junior golfer or another. That'd be interesting to see.
Who knows? A junior could win the USAM too.
Yeah, for sure. So quick tease. Like speaking of junior golf, you mentioned the rankings. So in this episode, we've had it in the can for a while, but we wanted to bring it out at just the right time. So episode 45, we've got the one and only Mac Thayer from the one and only Junior Golf Scoreboard, the de facto system for ranking junior golfers. Like if someone says like, "Oh, I'm 13th in my class," it's going to be their junior golf scoreboard ranking. Like that is the one that means the most and has the most relevancy. Whether or not you think it's the most accurate or whatever, but that's what I think most coaches are going to leverage and what most people use as sort of the currency around rankings. And so we use this opportunity to talk about with Mac just sort of the background and how it all came about, some of the myths, like some of the background information in terms of like the course adjustments and all that sort of thing. And I think he brings a lot of good insights because he talks to quite a few parents throughout the year that have questions. They wonder how it all works, and so he's seen it all. He's heard it all, and I think mostly he's also here to help kids and want to see them succeed. So I think it was a nice conversation. And then this episode in particular might be one for parents to get kind of up to speed on not only Junior Golf Scoreboard, then also our angle of attack with Andrew. We talk about just like that healthy parent instructor relationship, the lines of communication, like trusting the process, when it's working, when it's not working, that sort of thing. So I think, we just try to get real with that conversation and leverage a lot of Andrew's expertise.
Yeah, that's great. And if listeners missed the last episode, we are open for business. We got you on the job full time now, so please don't be afraid to reach out to us. We're here to
Yeah.
help.
Well, as a matter of fact, we just had you were like, hey, if anyone has questions on yardage books, I'm happy to have it. We had a session last night with a junior and their parent or his parent on the ins and outs of yardage books. So that's our idea of fun on a Friday night.
Yep.
Yeah. So hopefully more to come on that. So yeah, we're really excited to see how this thing goes, and yeah, hopefully we'll see folks and fans and listeners this summer on the amateur and junior circuit. So really
Awesome.
appreciate the time, Joseph.
Yep. Thanks, Jim.
What did I say? That was good. 13 minutes.
All right.
Yeah. So I don't know. I have anything else to talk about, but um, I really think that the one thing I didn't mention so much, we got a little bit long-winded, is with the hike. To me, it fits like exactly within our the pillars of like our brand, right? Like it's using like drive and passion and the game like in some combination
Yeah.
to have some meaningful impact on people's lives or like individuals' lives and that sort of thing. So like it it probably is like 10 out of 10 in all of those things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you need to have a lot in each of those buckets in order to be willing to do something like that. But it could be super meaningful for the people that go through that experience and see what can come out of their love for the game. And like what I said and what I tweeted the next day is I really think that people have this innate desire to give back to the game. And I think if we build this platform and we get the word out, it's sort of just like tapping people on the shoulder. You know what I mean? Because if
Yeah.
people maybe heard of it, they thought about doing it. They weren't exactly sure how to go about doing it. So if we get this thing up and running, it's super easy to start one. You find some community of people that have done it before. They're willing to help you out, or willing to caddy for you, that sort of thing. Um, it taps into that innate desire because, like for me, I mean, I've talked about this pretty openly. I mean, a lot of what we're doing now would not exist if it weren't for 100 hole hike, because I think it proved to me like the power of the game and what's possible from truly just like passion and loving the game and putting passion and energy behind something. Like people rally, like golfers in particular, like rally behind other golfers that are going above and beyond. Like
Yep.
absolutely, right? And just that knowledge of that, I think, is really why we even have a podcast to begin with, because we know that there's people like us, wired like us, out there, and being able to tell those stories and show how people are giving back and pushing above and like going way above and beyond, whether it's pursuit of excellence in the game or giving back to the game in some way, or coaches, like the sacrifices that they make, pouring into young lives of men and women, that sort of thing. It's just awesome. I mean, the power of the game is just absolutely tremendous. Yeah, so I was exposed to that face to face, having kind of built this thing up and seeing what it could become and what it has become, even after I've stopped renting it. It's been pretty fantastic.
Yeah, that's great. I'm really looking forward to it. I really want to do it. I know I've told you I want to do it, and I think I'm a good example of, where do I start? What do I do? And this will give us a good platform to kind of get the ball rolling to help
Yeah.
people kind of figure out all the details.
Yeah.
So really looking forward to it.
The one great thing, real quick, about 100 hole hike is when you tell somebody casually what you're doing. Maybe they're not even like an avid golfer or active golfer, or even someone who does golf regularly. It's almost like they can't compute what you're
Yeah.
what you're telling them or what you're doing, because it doesn't, because they're just like, okay, a round of golf's 4 hours, 100 holes, like what is that? That's 7, 8, that's whatever, six rounds. How is that even that's physically not possible. So then, like, you already have them instantly engaged because
Yeah.
they're trying to do the mental math, and then they're like, wow, you must really care about this cause if you're willing to do this thing which seems physically impossible to do, and they're in, right? Like,
Yeah.
how could they say no at that point?
It's
So
an
that was the
instant
power of that.
conversation starter to,
Yeah,
like you said, people that don't know golf. It's, wait, you're walking how many holes?
yeah,
100?
yeah.
So that's awesome.
So, anyways, all right. Well, I'm on the road, so hopefully I'll see folks. These amateur tournaments coming up. Say hi, and yeah, I'll see you in a couple weeks, I guess.
Yeah, it's officially cicada season, Jim. I don't know if you know that, but once you start hearing the cicadas in Texas, that's how you know it's hot. So
Yeah,
you're the lucky one getting out of here.
yeah, yeah. Rhode Island's hopefully a little bit cooler than here. All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, Jim. See ya.
See ya.